Everybody, welcome to another What a Hell of a Way to Die news update. It's Francis again. This week I have a lot of things to share with you. I promise, if you're an Air Force person watching, I'm not picking on you guys specifically this week, but there's a lot of Air Force content that we're kind of gonna go through. So first off, I am going to pimp the Patreon real quick. So I recently released an interview episode on the Patreon. It's available at any dollar amount on the Patreon. Those are early. It's going to come out free next week as well. But I was reached out to by a member of the Air Force who's also public affairs. This gentleman by the name of Emerson. Thankfully, he's still in, and he went through all the bells and whistles. I normally don't get public affairs people on the show because public affairs people know better than to come on to a show like this. You know, when you're in the Army and you're doing it in a official Army capacity, or the military, I guess, any military, you're doing these in these official capacities, you're not supposed to come on to some jackass show like this one and badmouth the Air Force. And I never want people to do that. You know, we'll talk shit, but you know, if you're still in, it's your career. I'm not the guy looking for, you know, come give me all the dirt on whatever's going on. Unless it's, you know, something that is specifically harming soldiers or something along those lines. I definitely want those stories. But I'm not here to bring you on just so you can shit talk the job that you're in. If you're out of that job and you want to shit talk it, absolutely, we can bring you on for that. But so Emerson was gracious enough to come on, and it's great to be able to talk public affairs shop with somebody else. I don't get to do that very often. Again, most people know better than that, but also we're a small group. We're a very small community, public affairs, and I've been out of that community, like not even just when I left the military 3.5 years ago, but my last unit, I was in a public affairs role, but I was in a slot, but I wasn't actually in the role. I was the training NCO because I was not brain dead like a lot of the other NCOs that we had. So they're like, oh, you're competent. You show up to work on time and you take notes. So obviously you need to have all of the responsibilities for these things. I ran a lot of APFTs as well, a lot of PT tests that I had to do. So it's nice, you know, and that was like the last 6 years of my enlistment was in that unit, which, you know, I'm not going to shit talk them. Good group of people, had a great time with them for the most part. At the same time, I wasn't exactly doing my job or networking with other public affairs people. So you kind of fall out of a lot of those circles when you're not doing it on a regular basis. So very nice to have Emerson come on and talk. We mostly shit talk the Marine Corps, which I think all of us can come together and shit talk Marines. Even Marines shit talk Marines. So that's a great interview. Like I said, that's on Patreon at any dollar amount, but it will be free on the main feed coming up next week. That's how I'm doing the interviews now. I'm trying to, you know, give a little extra content throughout the week, but you know, if you're paying me $1 a month, you get to get into the Discord, and you get some stuff for cheap, and you get a bonus episode, at least one bonus episode every month. So that's all available there. Links down below for that. So like I said, I've got a lot of stories about the Air Force that we're going to talk about, and again, I don't want to. I mean. The answer, of course, is that there should be no Air Force. You're part of the Army. You're just gonna have the airplanes. But I guess the Air Force got big enough. We needed to have a larger air footprint, and now we've got a whole space force now. It even goes above the air. Now we're up into space. So I'm trying not to be the old soldier about it, but I'm going to kind of be the old soldier about it. But let's get into what we have going on. So Air National Guard leaker Jack Teixeira gets a 16-year prison sentence. So if you think back a year ago or so, this gentleman put out a whole bunch of classified information. He was not one of the War Thunder guys. He was not a War Thunder forum leaker. Those guys, for some reason, those guys don't get hemmed up very, very much. And I think it's because it's not like super. I guess it's that kind of information that it's like it's not super secret, but it's like kind of secret for official use only. You know, one of those kinds of things. I don't know. I haven't looked into them. There's literally dozens of examples of War Thunder leaks. So I haven't delved into all of them because I don't have the time nor the inclination. But so Massachusetts Air National Guard airmen who leaked a trove of classified military secrets to impress an online gaming community agreed to a 6-year prison sentence in exchange for a guilty plea with federal prosecutors. I'm reading this out of the Task and Purpose. This is by Matt White. Links will be down below. It's a very short thing, but you know this was a huge blow up when it happened. But so Airman First Class changed a previous plea of not guilty to guilty. He admitted to leaking classified military documents on a social media platform for over a year before he was arrested in June of last year. He had access to a wide range of highly classified material. As a member of one of the intelligence wings, an investigation found that 3 of his supervisors had seen him access classified documents or break the rules and really do nothing about it. That is a theme that happens a lot in the military, where it's just like, well, you're not doing the right thing, but you know it's not fucking me up. So what am I going to care here? He has a history of online racism and violent remarks. Go figure. And he joined in 2019, and he leaked it into a chat group for video game enthusiasts that he oversaw called Thug Shaker Central. So, racist piece of shit. Not really that sad that he kind of gets hemmed up by this. The only thing that I will kind of say here is that when it comes to leaking classified documents, we have a long, look, people do it all the time. We have a long history of spies and people trying to impress other people. Sometimes one bats her eyes at you and you just go crazy and have to give out all of the details of the F-35's chassis or something. I don't know. I don't get it, but I'm a happily married man, so it's not going to work on me. Sorry. Also, I don't have access to anything. Never did, never wanted it. I stayed clear away from the skiff as much as I could. However, there, as we talked many times in the past with Nate, regardless of this guy being kind of a dickhead, even if he wasn't, you know, let's pretend that we're just going to look at the crime of classified documents here, and 100%. I understand that you can't just let classified documents go like that. You can't just put them out into the world and onto your online gaming community so that you can look really cool in front of all your friends. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you all about the M1 Abrams tank and like how all the shit inside of it works. You can't do that. But 16 years seems kind of excessive, especially when we had this going on. You know, when we have a guy like who put classified documents in the shitter, and not like in the shitter like, oh, we have to get rid of these classified documents, flush them, like just stacked up in there. Like you're taking a dump and you could at any point in time open something up here and just start reading some classified documents. You know, and look, I'm not going to beat the bush around Trump. I assume if you're listening to this, you also find Trump to be a reprehensible moron and bigoted shithead as much as any normal intelligent person does. It's just, again, you know, there's this 2-tiered system here where this guy's going to go to jail for 16 years for trying to impress his online community. But if you were president and you're trying to impress Kid Rock, you can do this shit all you want, and there's no problem. Nobody's going to hem you up for it because, you know, nobody's threatening to, I don't know, start a revolution for a 20-year-old airman, I suppose. So again, the 2-tiered system of, you know, if you have power and you have money, you don't get into trouble as much as literally anybody else. And it's really just one of those really glaring examples here. So again, fuck this guy. Like, I would at least have a little bit of sympathy for him if it was I just want to look cool in front of my friends and I'm not a huge piece of shit. I would have a little bit of sympathy for you, but I'm sorry, when you're just a racist also, I can't really bring myself to giving a shit that you broke the rules. So had Jack not been a huge racist piece of shit and still got 16 years, I'd be a little bit more sympathetic. Maybe I'd share a thing to give him money, but don't give him money. Fuck him. Don't stop trying to impress your racist friends. Like, there's a whole They Might Be Giants song about that. And if you understand that reference, it's time for your Geritol. Next up, Guard officials probing Texas general's appearance at a Trump rally. So again, we're gonna digging deep into the well of Donald Trump once again. So Trump recently had a rally down at the border doing racism, doing the border. They're all coming over. He sundowns a whole bunch, says a bunch of nonsense that makes no sense. But the problem that we're looking into is if you look at this here. So this guy back here, this two-star general, Major General Thomas Sulzer. Now this is from Air Force Times, Leo Shane III. Again, links below. So the beyond Trump doing racism as he does, the question comes up of like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is a two-star general in uniform and behind Trump during a rally? Like, he's not the president anymore. This is literally a political rally that he's at. And, they put these guys, that's always a big thing, is you put guys behind. When you're president, you can put all the soldiers you want behind you because you're president. Like, you are the commander in chief, where anything that you say goes. But this guy's just kind of hanging out there. And so like I said, the question becomes, because you cannot, while in uniform on active duty, you're not allowed to wear your uniform and go to political rallies. Now, you can be politically active, you can donate to politicians of your choice. You can do all of that. That's all well and good. Like, the army, the military in general understands that you are an individual, regardless of, as much as they want to put you all in green and tell you you're all the same person, you're not. They understand that. So they're like, look, you can, if you want to be a Democrat, you want to be a Republican, just do that shit on your own time, which I think that everybody can agree that the workplace is not a place for all of your political bullshit, no matter what your politics are. Like, I'm sorry. I would love to believe that you can spout off all of the communist manifesto that you want in uniform, and you can to a point, and that point is going to be somebody's going to probably push you through a wall because you're just being annoying. Like, don't waste my time telling me about the Communist Manifesto. Jesus Christ, I'll read it myself if I want to. Have you tried to read Das Kapital? If you have, congratulations, because Jesus Christ. All right, so National Guard officials are looking into whether Texas Adjutant General ran afoul of military politicking rules by appearing in uniform along former President Donald Trump during a campaign event. Like I said, there are strict rules against regarding appearances in uniform. You can't just wear your uniform anywhere because much like your boss for whatever company you want, whatever company you work at, probably doesn't want you wearing, whatever, I don't know, if you have a t-shirt with their logo on it or something, they probably don't want you out and about and showing that, and, at political rallies, showing off the company that you work for, because what ends up happening is people are like, oh, look, that guy, that army guy there is at this rally, so therefore he's probably representing the views of the army. Incorrect for the most part, but that is the concern there, is they don't want anybody to be in uniform being shown to be showing favoritism in this kind of manner, as you can imagine, because Donald Trump tried to do a coup. So certainly having the optics of, look at this Air Force general who's standing behind me while I make these racist comments, in that kind of concern there is, oh shit, they're going to do the Air Force. The Air Force is finally going to throw aside democracy and bring in a totalitarian regime. So National Guard Bureau officials confirmed Friday that they have received multiple queries on the appearance and are reviewing the incident. So here's the problem. So and this is laid out here, and I'll kind of summarize it before we get into this. Part-timers are different. When I was in the Army still and doing this podcast. If I was active duty, there would have been some problems with that. Now, generally, our podcast is fairly small. I doubt that the government really gives a shit. But, because I was a reservist, because I was a part-timer, what I do in my off time is my own. I am not full-time Army, so therefore, I can do whatever the fuck I want when I'm not on my 1 week and month, 2 weeks a year. Now, when National Guard is activated at the state level and not at the federal level, you wear your federal uniform, but you are being paid by the state, you're being guided by the state, you're being commanded by the state. And in that kind of weird wibbly wobbly area lies the concern here of like, what does this mean? And what it essentially means is that you can't really, you can kind of do this kind of stuff. Like it's not really clear. And it really needs to be made more clear because I don't think that anybody was kind of thinking these things would happen. Much like, go back to the founding fathers and show them an AK-47. I mean, one, they'd probably think it's cool as shit, but and probably be very confused when you tell them that Russians built it. But there's a nebulous kind of area that they're existing in here. So it says Schulzer's responsibility to adhere to those rules is less clear. Guard members in state active duty status aren't subject to federal rules, even though they're allowed to wear their regular uniforms. So this is all part of Operation Lone Star, which Greg Abbott down in Texas put in forth, where like a whole bunch of shitty states, mine included, have sent National Guardsmen, to go down and shove children back into the river because we're a very good Christian nation. This complicates things at this point because, like I said, they are being paid by the state, and there's a whole lot of issues that come with that too. Like we have had on a couple of journalists in the past to discuss these kinds of things. There are a lot of people who don't fully understand the kind of the implications that are going on here. Let's see. Yes. So Abbott oversees this. The crackdown on the number of migrants who attempt to cross the border into the U.S. Sulzer oversees that mission and frequently issues statements on the work and the political fights behind the policies alongside the governor and other state officials. So he's often doing these things in front of the governor. With the governor now we're doing it. But see, the governor is actually like an elected official. Like, love him or hate him, what he's doing there is not necessarily a problem. But this is a political rally, so it's a little bit different. So Hedy Urbine, a professional at Georgetown University, Washington School of Foreign Services, who had studied military rules and politicking, says that while Sulzer's appearance may not explicitly violate military rules, quote, it's violation of military norm of nonpartisanship, end quote. She said the logic behind the regulations is to ensure that the military members aren't that military members aren't inferring special sponsorship or approval of candidates or groups' views. So, therein kind of lies the problem, is that the difference between an elected official and somebody who is campaigning. So, I don't know where this is going to end up going. This is still in the phase where they're trying to figure out what is this a violation? And if it's not a violation, what do we do about it? And if we're not going to do anything about it, then what's the point of any of this, I suppose? Part-timers are hard. It's a really hard nut to crack. And it's something that not really anybody kind of understands. Davis Winky comes on all the time. He's a part-timer. And he kind of understands these things where it's like, look, I understand what you're saying, and I understand, but the letter of the law versus, what you're seeing are kind of two different things. And it is confusing, and it is a problem. Like, they shouldn't be doing this, but nevertheless, they're going to, because it's politics, and who's going to fucking stop them, Certainly, I'm not going to run down there and yell at this guy, I suppose. All right, finally. So, last week we talked about the Navy. The Navy got to get a whole bunch of new stuff, including putting their hands in their pockets. This is that is kind of huge for the military at whole. Like that is one step away from you guys can have beards now. I don't think beards are ever going to happen. Certainly not in your time in the military if you're currently serving. Maybe in 30 or 40 years. I don't know. Beards aren't going to happen anytime soon. But like the Space Force allows you to have neck tattoos and hand tattoos because they want all those young crazy dudes who like want to join the military, but also are the kinds of people to get face tattoos. I'm not sure, but like crazy enough to join the army, crazy enough to get a face tattoo, and useful enough that we will waive those first two things so that we can let you join the military. There's like 5 people, but they got them. They're all in the Space Force now. But so what we have here is a whole slew of new stuff to kind of make things a little bit easier for members of the Air Force. Now, none of them are as big as Hands in Pocket, but there are. I told a story about how I got hemmed up when I was in my sergeant school because I was wearing spandex under my PT shorts. This is before the new PT shorts that had the spandex in them. That had like an Under Armour logo on the leg, like right on the thigh here, and it wasn't visible until I was like laying down on my back doing PT stuff. And then the PT shorts kind of fall down a little bit, and you see it, and it's just like, hey, you can't do that. Complete like, and the thing is that for the most part, nobody gives a shit. But when you're in sergeant school, you have to give a shit because that's the whole point of sergeant school is to be an anal retentive asshole. So let's see what the Air Force gets. They get authorized installation commanders to designate child development centers as no hat, no salute areas. So that's nice. If you're going to pick up your kids, take your cover off. You don't have to salute the colonel that's coming out with while you're picking up your kids and everything. So that's really nice. Allows service members to wear cold weather headband in addition to existing cold weather accessories like scarves, earmuffs, watch caps, and gloves. So you get to put like a little, which I love. Like I'm not a big fan of wearing the watch cap, but I like the whole headband kind of thing because I like to, if you're doing PT, you're sweating and you're exercising, but it's cold, you need to have some kind of outlet for the heat. So it's nice to have that kind of open there. So that's nice for them. Grant a total of 4 badges of operational camouflage pattern above the Air Force tape, up from currently authorized 2. So for those of you not in the military, we have our name tapes here. We have our services here on the left. And you can put like your parachute rigger, airborne, air assault, pathfinder, things like that. You can put these little devices up there. So apparently they could only have 2. Now they can have 4. That's nice for them. Add an operational camouflage pattern patrol cap or tactical cap while in flight duty uniform. It's nice. I don't know what they normally wear. I don't know if it's the hat, I don't want to say what we call them, but the little flat when you put it there. You can wear a patrol cap now, which is nice. Like the era of the beret in the Army was one of the dumbest things that we ever did because it's like you're forced to wear a hat and the hat is completely fucking useless. There's no way to like a booty cap or a patrol cap has a brim and that keeps the sun out of your eyes. And you know where soldiers are a lot? In the fucking sun. A lot of times we're in the sun. So, allow a small logo on purses and handbags not exceeding 1 inch in diameter. Good for all of you, those of you in the Air Force who have your Chanel bags, I suppose. Add olive drab green as an authorized backpack color, in addition to black, brown, gray, and dark blue that you can wear with the uniform. Allow a logo of any size on gym bags. That's nice. Everybody, it's hard to find a decent gym bag that doesn't have a big logo on it because the ones that don't have a big logo on it are cheap ones from China that are going to fall apart in 3 months. You want the nice one, like the Nike one or the Under Armour one, the one that you spend a little bit of money on, but it's going to hold up and it's going to hold a lot of stuff. No, you can't use it because it says Under Armour on it or something. So I'm glad they're kind of moving away from the concerns about branding on bags like that. Because again, who gives a shit? Like I'm going to the gym. I'm not going out onto camera with this. I'm going to go do push-ups. Let's see. Expand the current regulation to allow cold weather parkas to be commercially purchased with certain exceptions. Parkas must be OCP pattern or coyote brown and have name tape, service tape, rank, and patches worn in the same authorized configuration. So that is nice. That I suppose, I don't know how much the Air Force's parkas suck. I know that the Army parkas suck. So where you're buying them commercially, I'm not too sure, but it is nice to know that you can get things off civilian economy, because when we moved over to the brown boots, I went to Afghanistan. It was 2004, like the brief moment where we wore desert camo, the DCUs, the brown boots. And those boots tore my shit up. Like I was on a soft shoe profile for a week after like 3 days. If you've ever walked around Afghanistan in Bagram, those big fist-size rocks that were everywhere, yeah, it tore my shit up. And since then, I've always bought my own boots. And that has been, there's been problems with that, because like Converse made some brown boots that really sucked, and everybody liked them because they were super light, but they're like basically tennis shoes, that kind of defeats the purpose of why you're wearing combat boots. So again, I have a pair of combat boots I bought after Iraq. I still have them. They're great. They fit me perfectly, and I put them on when I need to go out in the snow, or if it's raining a bunch and I need to have something other than, you know, the shitty little stuff. I don't wear great. I wear moccasin shoes, like from Merrell's, because I'm 40 years old and I don't want to tie my shoes anymore. So when I need like real shoes to go do real shoe stuff, I have the boots for that. Allow for Friday morale shirts with larger logos up to 5 inches in diameters, but the shirts must be coyote brown. That's nice, you know, and I don't know if the Army allows that or not, because I've seen plenty of people with the brown shirts underneath that have like unit designations and whatnot on it. So I'm not too sure if that's a big thing on the Army, the Air Force, things like that. And then authorized the wear of heritage-like morale patches on the flight duty uniform. So I assume if you are in a historical unit or something, maybe you can wear a patch or something like that. Perhaps you can get away with wearing one of my patches that are in the store, hellofawaytodie.com/shop. Many of them are Velcro, and you can slap them on there. Thomas the Tank, you know, you can put, the Air Force doesn't have tanks though, so maybe that one would kind of stand out, but, you know, the big, anarcho-communist, I tread where I please, throw that on there. None of it's an olive drab. I don't really believe in olive drab. I hate it. I'd rather have color, so don't wear them when you're out in the actual field, but wear them around town. See, and if anybody gives you shit, you just say, hey, look, we got new things that say that I can have this big yellow no step on sneck patch on me. So again, these are all really great things that the military is doing. The Army's still not there. The Army is still trying to figure out how to keep dining facilities open and not give people the plague from black mold. So it might be a little bit until they're like, yeah, you can put hands in your pockets too. But you know, it's nice to see that at least there are steps being made. There are attempts being made to move forward on something like this to make things a little bit easier, because a lot of the rules are really, really, really stupid. And like I said, gym bags. Can't have a gym bag with a logo on it. That's a really stupid rule, but it's something that, like, because it's a rule, somebody will get you on it. Somebody will hem you up. A board sergeant major somewhere is going to fucking yell at you about this shit. So it's very nice that that's going away, that they're kind of opening some things up. I hope that we start to see more of this. I hope that the Army kind of pulls their heads out of their asses and at least, you know, tries to open up a few other things, allows you to wear a fleece. Like, if you're wearing the Army fleece, nobody gets to yell at you about it because it's issued. Because holy shit, have I been yelled at for wearing my cold weather gear when it's cold outside. And incredible sergeant brains to be like, why are you wearing that shit that we issued you just because you're cold? No, don't put your hands in your pockets either. You're going to stand there and suffer. And I understand being in the Army is all about suffering, but come on, man. Like, it's 2024. Let a man have some warm hands. So Air Force, I'm with you guys. I am excited that you guys have some good new things coming up. And look, you're no more fucked up than any of the rest of us ever were. So it's all joking because we love each other, because we hate each other, but because we understand also that we are reflected in one another. And it's nice to see somebody's get something. I'm out of the Army, so I can do whatever I want now. That would be my advice to anybody who's just like, well, I wish we had those regulations. Don't be in the military and you don't have to follow regulations. It's pretty nice. All right. So that's going to be it for the news. Let's go over to our next segment. All right, so this is the point in time where I tell you what I've been watching, what I've been reading. I'm actually in the middle of TV shows at the moment. I've got a couple things I need to watch for the show. I actually just watched some Sharp's Regiment recently for Joe's show. We'll talk a little bit more about Sharp. And I finished up Attack on Titan. It was deliciously weird at the end of it, which was fucking weird throughout the entire thing. It's very funny, like now that I've watched all 4 seasons, plus the 2 little additional movie season things that they had afterwards. And I talked to other people like, oh yeah, I stopped watching after season 2 because it got really weird. Or I watched season 1 and I never went forward with it because it was weird. And like, it gets weirder. So, if you're not sucked into it, I was absolutely sucked into it because of the weirdness, but I'm in the middle of things. I'm not really looking for more anime at the moment. At the time though, I am, my daughter and I are watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. My wife went out of town and we blew through like the first season in a couple of days. And the animated one, not any of the new ones. I haven't touched any of those yet. I probably won't. I don't, and it has nothing to do with whether I feel like it's being ruined or whatever. I don't care that much about live action. That whole show lends itself better to being animated. The expressions, the way that everybody moves and everything. It just feels like animated is going to be the best way to go with that. So I'm in the middle of shows. And like I said, I'm not really looking for anything right now. I might go back to just putting Justified on in the background while I'm doing work. It's propaganda, but it's Timothy Olyphant, who, as long as Timothy Olyphant is playing a cop, he's phenomenal. So I will watch any of that stuff. Even Mandalorian, he plays a cop. So it all works out. So I got a couple of books here. The first one is Alpha, the Eddie Gallagher and the War for the Soul of the Navy SEALs by David Phillips. So Nate and I kind of touched on this on our dad chat last week, and I got about 100 pages into it, and I'm going to be honest with you, like, if you're really interested in the whole thing with Eddie Gallagher, it's a very well written book. But I mean, the entire process that they're going through in this book is this whole, like, look how fucked up Eddie was during this entire time. And he's nothing like all these other noble Navy SEALs. Like, I don't care how noble any of them were. They all were keeping their mouths shut because their boss was crazy. And they're like, well, if I say something, then I'm not going to get to kill people. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut until he does a war crime that I find to be heinous. And Nate and I have talked about the Navy SEALs a lot. Nate has a lot more experience with them and how they completely fuck up your entire day. If you're just a regular ground pounder soldier, if the Navy SEALs came in the night before, you're fucked. Everybody hates anybody that is in your uniform because they probably came in, busted up somebody's family, threw shit all over the place, put guns in people's faces. And I'm not trying to say that, like, that's not what, your average soldier does, but they don't do it that much. Like, there are specific raids that are done, but your average soldiers are going out, and I'm going to say that there was at least attempts at hearts and minds, a little bit more than the Navy SEALs ever did. So it's just really a disingenuous kind of thing to read because there's all of this onus being put on Eddie Gallagher and how crazy he was going and how much of his brain was kind of gone during this deployment. He was doing all these crazy things, and there's not like these other noble Navy SEALs, but those other Navy SEALs were also kind of dickheads too. They're Navy SEALs. That's what they do. They're as much as they love to huff their own farts, they're much like the Spartans. And many people are going to think, oh, that's a positive comparison. No, not historical Spartans. A bunch of guys that were really high on their own supply and were constantly having to fight against each other because they were constantly fucking themselves up. So if you really are interested in some more information about Eddie Gallagher and war crimes and all of that stuff, you can read this book. It just wasn't for me. It was fine. Like I said, it's well written. It's easy to follow, I guess, is what I can say about it. But there's certainly an agenda that's kind of being pushed forward, and not like they're being so mean to Eddie Gallagher. Fuck that guy. He's a war criminal. And if the parts of the books that I have read are correct, he was a crazy fuck, and somebody should have hemmed him up a long time ago. The problem was that he was the guy in charge, and it's really hard to hem that guy up. But at some point in time, somebody could have done something before a war crime happened. But they didn't, because maybe they love war crimes. The Navy SEALs, whomst among us don't. So another book that I am just started. My mother, God bless her, my mother has a large collection of Napoleonic writings. I did not know my mother was a weeaboo. That's OUI. And so she's got great books about ships. And when I asked her about the movie Master and Commander, she was just like, "Oh, it's a great movie. I love it." So she has a bunch of the Sharp books. Now, over on Lions Led by Donkeys, we've been watching the Sharp series, one episode per month with Joe and Carrie. So great. They're movie length. They're like 100 minutes each. So they're each their own movie in a way. And they don't necessarily follow the books very well, but that's fine, because I'm reading this book. This is the third book in the series, and this is just now when he's starting to get involved with the rifles rather than all the musket stuff. And it's very good because it's funny to watch a man fight against his nature of being an enlisted man. But in this book, he's an ensign. And but everybody, and nobody like really respects him. Everybody kind of treats him as just this piece of shit officer. Like, the other officers don't respect him because he came up the ranks from sergeant, and in early 1800s, green to gold was not really a thing. And none of the enlisted folks like him because they don't know him. And he doesn't have, in the TV series, he has like this merry band of like 8 dudes that are just always with him. And so he doesn't have that in this anymore. So I haven't gotten to the part yet where he's got the rifles, where he's doing more command things. He's basically an ensign, and everybody keeps telling him, "Is like, you're an ensign. Your job is to stand back here and make sure nobody runs away." So we are going to be doing Sharp's Regiment on Joe's show next, and I just watched that episode, and that's about halfway through the series. It's great. I love Sean Bean in anything, really, but in the role of Sharp, he's great because he just gets to be angry and yell at people constantly and fuck shit up. And that's all I'm looking for out of Napoleonic Wars. I just want to see some dumbasses get blown up by cannons. It is incredible to watch how all of this works and to read it. Like, in the TV show is hard to kind of get the scope of things because they're only hiring like 50 extras, and they're like, "All right, so 10 of you are going to be the French up on the hill shooting, and the other 40 of you are going to be the guys who march in the line here." So you're not really, so the skirmishes you're seeing are like these very small skirmishes, when in reality, we're talking about tens and tens of thousands of people fighting each other. The book, it gets a lot more visceral and a lot more gory. Like, while the cannons are going off, Sharp is just like, "Yeah," and then the ball, how the French are shooting the ball. Actually, this one's in India, so how they're shooting the cannons, shooting them low so they kind of skip off of the ground and like take out people like a bowling ball, bowling pins, and describing like, "Oh, then this other guy went down because he got like a bone shard from his buddy in his leg, so they're both fucked up from it." And there's a lot of enlisted talk in it as well, a lot of body talk, as you can imagine. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm probably going to go back and get some more of these from my mom, kind of rotate these in and out of the books that I'm reading, because this one is a lot of fun. It's exciting. So in this one, if you have been listening along with us over on Lions, Obadiah Hakeswell was the really creepy dude, Peter Postwaite character, and was gross and terrible and kept talking to a picture in his hat and was like a serial rapist and a murderer. So like, when he dies, it's great. We all love to watch him get shot. But I guess this is the first bit of it. But it's very exciting. It's very fun stuff. I am not usually one to read action books. but I finally found one that I like. So I have been trying to read like more modern thriller and things like that. It's not really doing it for me. But these Bernard Cornwell books are really, really hitting the spot. He understands the mind of the soldier. And that mind of the soldier is, where's my next beer? Where's my next lay? Where's my money? And what are we doing next, Sergeant? And that's it. And it's really well done so far. So I'm looking forward to reading a lot more of this. Like I said, I'm not really watching anything right now. Maybe I'll pick something up a little bit in the future, but right for the moment, I'm kind of in I don't want to watch anime right now. I want to watch something else, probably something that I can put on in the background and ignore. But if you have any suggestions that you think I might like, please, as always, comment. Let me know. Let me know what you're watching. I'm always interested to know what other people are watching. I get a lot of my ideas of what to watch from the weird things that you guys are into. I imagine that because you're listening or you're watching this, you're a fan of mine. That means I'm probably a fan of yours. We probably have some taste similarities. So let me know. Tell me what you're listening to. Tell me what you're watching. Tell me what you're reading. And I'm going to pick some stuff up. All right, everybody. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for whatever way that you are consuming this content. So this is the point where I tell you about some new things that are in the store. Last week, I told you about the things that are going to be in the care package. The leftovers for that are not going to be in the store until April, keeping that nice and exclusive for a little bit for our $10 and up Patreons. If you did not get in on that, don't worry. Come summer, there's going to be another care package that's going to be going out, and I'll be talking all about it and what's going to be in that once that hits. So what I do have new in the store, something for you St. Louis heads, a limited run of these stickers that I whipped up. So there's a joke in St. Louis that the Arch is one big weather station. That is, you hit the switch, and I don't know if it's supposed to bring the tornadoes or make the tornadoes stop. One way or the other, I'm not too sure exactly what it's supposed to do. But I finally created the Weather Station Ozark sticker that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So that's available. Like I said, limited run that we have of those. And secondly, I have talked a lot about my wife, who does a lot of crocheting, and a lot of times the things that she makes ends up in the store as well. So recently she was making, so one thing that she makes are these things called chill pills. They're about yay big. They are oblong. They look like pill capsules, and they have little beady eyes on them. And the joke that I tell people when we're selling them is that you can buy one and you can throw it at your kid, and it's not considered abuse because they're very soft. So she got another kind of yarn. Sometimes she just picks yarn up to play around with it to kind of see what comes out of it at the end of it. And she got this very oddly colored one that was very fuzzy in some ways. And I said, this really isn't going to work as a chill pill. But if you paired this up with another one and kind of squished it down, it would look very silly. And good Lord, did it not. So these are a very limited run. We have 4 pairs of these that you're going to be able to get. So if you really like them, you're going to need to get in on them soon. And here we go here. Little beady-eyed guys here, just right there for you. And the joke, as I tell her, is when you're talking about torsion, whoop, that's what that is. So if you really want a set of beady-eyed fuzzy balls that you can hang from your rearview mirror, you can hang it from your microphone stand like that, or you can just kind of clack them around a little bit like that. These are going to be available. There's only 4 sets though, so get them while the getting is good. She's not going to make another one because, like I said, she picked this up. She only got this yarn once, and she thrifted it and put some stuffing and some beady little eyes on them and make them look cute. Have you seen the stuffy viruses and stuff like that? I got one for Men's Health Day. It's not for another couple months, but you should always be checking, making sure that there's no lumps on there that weren't there before. Those ones are fine. Those aren't going to get any bigger. I think you're going to be safe there. So those are going to be in the store, hellofawaydodie.com/shop. Like I said, limited quantity on that, limited quantity on the stickers as well. But we've got more stuff coming in. I've got Rock or Something patches coming in, something that I've been wanting to do for a while, mostly because every other Rock or Something patch that I've seen kind of sucks. So I've created one that I think is a little bit more true to the actual form. That's going to be a Velcro patch. I definitely want that one to be Velcro because I want people to be able to slap that on their uniforms wherever they go. So keep an eye out for those in the store. But as I said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.